Having a baby made me rethink my entire life. Back in 2018, I got married. And I've always thought that providing for your family, taking care of your family was the most important role that I had as a man, as a husband, as a father. So I did that. I worked a very high paying job, I would say. My wife did not work, she stayed at home. I was excelling, I was doing very good at it, working my way up the corporate ladder, as you may say, to a level to where we were very comfortable, being able to buy whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted. Um, there's a saying that, if you make $1 million a year, you spend 1,000,001, you're still broke. We were close to that boat, but life was good, um, or so I thought. My wife didn't like it until she saw the paycheck coming in, and then she pretty much enjoyed it, or buried with it, should I say. Um, but I did that from 2018 all the way up until 2022. In February of 2022, I had my first child. And to give you a little bit of backstory, at this job, I was working a lot. I would wake up for work in the morning, 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, leave at 6:15, 6:30, get to work around 7:15, and I would be working until 7:30 p.m., 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m., 9 p.m., and then drive 45 minutes back home to get home somewhere between 8 and 10. And I did that for a little while, a decent amount of time. And again, I was doing good at it. I thought it was going well. I thought it was going great for what I was trying to accomplish, to be able to provide for my family. But the one thing that I remember is that I don't remember anything about the first 7 months of my child's life. It's not that I wasn't involved, um, that I wasn't present when I was around my child. I just wasn't there. I wasn't home. When you're working 60, 65, 70 hours a week, you can't be. It's impossible. But we made a second addition to our family in September of 2022. And this was an older child. You can read in between the lines on that. And at the time, he was 9 years old, and he asked me a question that really changed my entire perspective, even with my wife telling me that I was working too much for years before. He asked me, "Why do you go to work at night and then come home at night?" I thought about it for a second, and what he was really saying is, "Why are you never here?" And it hit me. Shortly after, I left that job. Of course, there were some other things that were involved with it, like staying married, which is pretty important, at least to me, if you have a family. But I left, and it was a hard decision to make, very difficult decision to make. But I learned a lot in that process. Um, while I had lost the ability to earn at the level that I thought I needed to provide for my family, but not just to provide for my family, to also feel like I had the status of the person that I wanted to be. I learned that a lot of people talk about how important family is to them, but your actions are the biggest determining factor on what you really believe. And at that time, my family was important to me, but it wasn't as important to me as the earning, the status, the knowing that my family would never worry about anything. Since I've made that change, I'm significantly more involved. I almost cut my hours in half at work. So going from 60, 65, 70 hours a week to 40, sometimes 35. The majority of that time has been dedicated to my spouse and to my children. I wake my kids up in the morning. I drive them to school, to daycare. I have time to spend with them before we leave. I make them breakfast. We chat. I pick them up when I get done from work. We hang out. We go to the park. We joke, we laugh, we eat. And that would have never been something I was able to do working the job that I was working before. If I have learned anything from this experience, it's that I can say that I really think family is important, but unless I do something about it, it's not that important. There's still a part of me that wishes that I earned the same level that I did before, because it was a pretty significant pay cut leaving that enterprise. But it was very small in comparison to what I've gained in the process. Being able to not just say that I love my kids, but to be able to show them face to face. To be able to attend sporting events for my older children. To be able to have conversations about their day on the way to and the way from school. To be able to be a part of the moments in my younger child's life that I will remember for the rest of my life. I don't want to go back.